I am a business owner here in Computer Village, and I know that taxation is giving back what when government has done their own responsibility. In Computer Village today, we have resorted to self-help. Every plaza uses generator. My plaza alone spends 1 million naira in fueling their generator every month. So you see, where does this money come from? From we contribute 10,000 naira every shop per month. And tomorrow, government will expect tax from me. Why don't they give me this electricity? At least, if you check 10,000 naira per month, times 10 months is 100,000. And you maybe, when you give me electricity, ask me to pay 20 or 30,000 naira every year. Wouldn't I gladly pay that money? For example, if your child is going to school on a free education and government asks you to pay tax of 50,000 naira every year, won't you do that when you know that the price of ordinary private school is over 150 every term? Computer has a very big name, but some people are going to either go out of business very soon because the environment is now choking. Diesel, 750. NEPA, no prepaid meter. And once they bring their bill, 500,000 naira every month. You see double taxation. They tax you at local government level, they tax you at NEPA level, they tax you at your own plaza level because you must pay for the generator. We are ready to do our own civic rights and responsibility to the government. But please, can government give us that which they are supposed to?
Something we call allowable expenses in whatever business you do. As far as FRS is concerned, there is what we call allowable expenses. So if you are spending 2 million naira per year before now in running your generator, now because of the hike in price from 400 naira per liter to 900 naira per liter or whatever, your expenses will definitely go up for that item. You are allowed to put it in your account, and that will obviously reduce your tax payable.
In Lagos State, we do not have anything called double taxation. It is because a lot of people confuse levies, charges, and fines with tax. Our prince just spoke about now that for the generator, the common gen they pay, they are charged a particular amount. If you are not resident in that plaza or taking advantage of the generator, you would not be charged that amount. So levies, fines, and charges are sometimes used in a general loose language of tax, but it is not tax. Again, Mr. Prince, you spoke about the fact that schools. I would want to let you know that as far as Lagos is concerned, we have free education. And irrespective of who you are, you don't have to be a Yoruba, you don't have to be an Hausa person. As long as the parents are residents in Lagos, you have free education. But because our prince, maybe our free education, you want better for your children, so you take them to private schools. And private schools also gives us an informed opinion as to the type of income you have. So it's an issue of choice.
There are some problems that you can solve yourself as we are here. Even before we leave here now, I can call a phone call to one of the officers and it will be solved. But there are some of them that even our chairman, even our governor, cannot solve it without going to, do certain things, upstairs. So let us remove those problems that are constant, even to all of us, and deal how we can collaborate to solve our problems. The origin of tax did not come, if we read the literature of tax, it did not come that it is when you have provided everything for me. Some of these problems are common not only to Computer Village, it's common to where we live, it's common to everybody. It does not mean that the government is not working. Because if government shut down for 1 minute, you will find that a lot of things will be in chaos. Example I used to give my town seniors, example I used to give to them is the school fees of my son who attended King's College and my 2 daughters who attended private school. My daughters who attended private school were paying 1.something million as school fee, but in King's College, it was 40,000. What is the thing that is funding, that? It's the tax we pay. I'm not saying that to be in darkness is good, But what I'm saying is that it is not us here that can provide electricity. Otherwise, if we can provide it, we will give to ourselves first. You know, so let us tailor our questions to those things that we can help you solve.
We are not afraid to pay tax. In fact, the truth is, there is a pride that taxation gives you when you're a payer. But why we try to become somehow pragmatic about taxing is that it's too mystified. So I want to ask this question. For a limited liability company, we want to know the taxes that are applicable.
Do the clips you just saw resonate? Are you an entrepreneur? Under what platform do you operate? Business name, otherwise known as one-man business, enterprise, partnership, or limited liability company? Whichever one it is, you are liable to some tax obligations. Tax, as you know, is the blood of every economy. It is the oxygen without which the economy chokes. Taxes, as Oliver Wendell Holmes said, are the price we pay for a civilized society. To be regarded as a responsible entrepreneur, you must fulfill requisite tax obligations. On today's episode, we'll be sharing with you how the tax authorities took education and enlightenment on taxation to the doorsteps of entrepreneurs in the Computer Village in Ikeja, Lagos. You'll be hearing from the businessmen expressing their concerns and, of course, the answers, the assurances given to them by tax officials in attendance. Monday, the 28th of March to Friday, the 1st of April was Tax Week in Nigeria. It was the way that the tax fraternity in Nigeria decided to bring matters relating to taxes and taxation to the public domain in keeping with the injunction of the National Tax Policy 2017. You'll recall that a few episodes ago, we brought you the story of activities organized by the Federal Inland Revenue Service to mark the tax week. What you are about to see on this episode is yet another event, this time put together by the Lagos and District Society of the CITN to mark Tax Week 2022. A very commendable effort indeed. The Lagos and District Society of the CITN collaborated with the coalition of associations in the Computer Village in Ikeja, Lagos to mark the 2022 Annual Tax Week. The event, which had as its theme Taxation and Business Guide for Nigerian Entrepreneurs, was held right inside the Computer Village in Ikeja on Wednesday, 30th of March 2022. Dr. Yemi Soni is the chairman, Lagos and District Society of the CITN.
Why are we here today? Why this program? This program is not for us to come and actually get the Computer Village entrepreneurs to listen to us. It's more of us listening to them. And why do we need to listen to them? Because I have listened to them, and in listening to them, I've identified areas that we believe that we could be of assistance to them, and in listening to them, that led me to bringing in the authorities that I believe have powers to help them solve those problems. A forum where they will be in attendance and the tax authorities will be in attendance, and they will be able to hear their views and tell the tax authorities the various problems they are having, such that the authorities will know, listen, and find a lasting solution to their tax problems. Lagos and District Society has come to be that pivot, to be that channel through which their problems submitted to the coalition can be looked into, and we can help them to talk to the authorities for them to be able to resolve all their tax issues. So we have come here today to allow the Federal Inland Revenue Service to be able to address the Computer Village entrepreneurs on some of the taxes that are due as a result of their doing business in Nigeria. Also, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service is here to let them know the taxes that are due as a result of having employees that are working for them and remitting such. And they are here to be able to tell the tax authorities, okay, some of this we don't know, some of this we know, but the ones we know, these are the things you bring to us which we don't think it's right.
Mr. Innocent Okagwa, Deputy Vice President of the CITN, stood in for the CITN President.
The theme of this week engagement is taxation and business. You will agree with me that the symbiotic relationship between the two concepts cannot be overstressed. While tax, we know, flows from a statutory responsibility from the Constitution, the business needs to grow, nurtured, create wealth to be able to fulfill those obligations. Where the business and the tax administrators and practitioners have a nexus, a common understanding, the benefit for all will be growth of the business, increase in tax revenue, provision of critical infrastructures, amongst others.
As a matter of course, a business owner is obliged to taxing authorities at federal, state, and local government levels. What are your obligations? What are your duties? What are your rights? We'll begin with the FIRS.
I will start by telling you that FRS has a mission and we have a vision. The FRS mission is to operate a transparent and efficient tax system that optimizes revenue collection and voluntary compliance. The most important word here for me is the voluntary compliance. What FRS do is we allow the taxpayer or the entrepreneur at the end of every year or at the end of every month, depending on what taxes you want to pay, we allow you to tell us what activities you have done with your company for that period. On your own, come and tell us, this is what I have done for this month, too, and this is what I want to pay as VAT. Or this is what I have done for the whole year, and this is what I want to pay for my income tax, education tax, CGT, that is capital gain tax, and whatever kind of tax that is applicable to your company. We will accept it from you, but we know that in the course of checking through your records, if you do not tell us exactly what you have done, I tell you we are going to discover one way or the other, because we have mechanisms on the ground that will enable us to detect where taxpayers do not tell us what they are supposed to tell us as far as their activities are concerned. Very briefly, Nigeria, we all know, politically we run a federalism or a federation system of government. And therefore, as far as tax administration is concerned, we cannot operate like other jurisdictions do. If you go in most clients, in most jurisdictions, the country always has one tax authority through which all the taxes are paid, all revenues of government are collected. Unfortunately for Nigeria, because of the federal system we operate, we have 3 tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. And each of them has authority by the Constitution to collect some kind of taxes or the other. Unfortunately, that's where most times the issue of double taxation, the issue of double administration comes in. Like I've already mentioned earlier, FRS collects a lot of taxes. Mostly FRS deal with all taxpayers. But primarily, our major taxpayers are the corporate taxpayers. Because the corporate taxpayers are those that are limited liability companies. They pay company income tax, capital gain tax, withholding tax, education tax, and a few other taxes to the Federal Inland Revenue Service solely. They cannot pay these taxes to other jurisdictions. Then VAT. VAT is not limited to only limited liability companies. VAT cut across every consumer. No human being can stay without consumption. It's either you are eating or you are buying products for use in your homes. So as far as you do those actions, you are a consumer. And as far as you are a consumer, you must necessarily pay VAT. And that's where federal revenue comes in. Like I said in our vision, primarily, FIRS's activities are based on voluntary compliance. But I tell you, the people that did our laws, they realized that as human beings, and as far as taxation is concerned from history, we know that it's not always possible that voluntary compliance will apply. Because there are people that no matter what you do, they will not voluntarily comply. And because of that, they gave us a lot of powers in the laws, all the laws, whether it is Company Income Tax Act, whether it is Capital Gain Tax Act, whether it is VAT Act, whether it is Establishment Act, we have a lot of enforcement powers. That's why we always like to do this kind of programs with you, so that we let you know this is our responsibility to FIRS and the federal government, as an entrepreneur, as a taxpayer. It is only when you fail to do that, that of course FIRS will not tell you, we have powers, and then we will apply our powers and get our taxes from you.
Alhaji Sodiq did not fail to mention the homegrown tax administration solution, Tax Pro Max.
We have also recently developed an in-house tax administration platform. From the comfort of your office or from the comfort of your house, you can file your returns, whether it is VAT, whether it is company income tax, or whatever kind of tax it is. And that program was developed in-house by our own staff. And we call it Tax Pro Max. It is now already operating. So if you need to pay your tax, please go to any of our tax offices, ask them what Tax Pro Max is all about. They will put you through, and it will become very easy for you to comply. And you will not have problem with FIRS any longer.
I'm a very busy man. My business involves a lot of traveling, and I interface with lots and lots of people and organizations. Tax compliance used to be a big drag on my business. It was time-consuming and very costly. But now, no more. Introducing the FIRS Tax Pro Max, the truly fully end-to-end tax administration solution for companies' income tax, value-added tax, petroleum profits tax, and all other tax types. For fast, efficient, and convenient end-to-end tax experience, log on to www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng. Tax Pro Max has turned things around for me. It is fast, user-friendly, and cost-effective. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC.
You are still on to tax matters, and we are taking you through what is required of you as a business owner when it comes to fulfilling that all-important civic obligation of paying taxes. Alhaji Sodiq, State Coordinator, Lagos Mainland East of the FIRS, is our guide. And of course, all this is powered by the Lagos and District Society of the CITN.
Recently, we launched what we call FIRS call centers. As I speak with you now, we have some pamphlets behind your chairs, behind the conference room. Those pamphlets carry the numbers of those call centers. Please, anytime you have any problem with any of our offices, all you need to do is to call those numbers, lay your complaints, and I bet you your issues are going to be solved within very minimal time. Another thing we have been able to do for the last 3 years, we have been able to introduce what we call the Finance Act. Before now, our laws are very static. Whatever has been there has been there. It used to be very extremely difficult to get any part of our law amended by the National Assembly. But since 2019 to date, we have continuously established a system where every year, at the time the government is doing budget, the federal government, they will also be passing what they call the Finance Act. The Finance Act is an act that look at all our laws as we operate within the year. If there's any place we have problem within the law, whether it is a loophole in the law, whether it is an issue in the law, whether it is a problem that is causing problem for our taxpayers and our stakeholders, we take a second look at it and do a memo and combine them and send to the National Assembly. And because it is an established system now, at the end of every year, this thing comes out as Finance Act. One of the benefits of this, we have all seen, the palliative giving for our small taxpayers, where you are zero rated as far as company income tax, as far as taxes are concerned. If your turnover is below 25 million in a year, you are a very small taxpayer. So we felt, why don't we exempt these classes of taxpayers? Let us see. With time, we give them the opportunity to grow. The intention of FRS is never to kill businesses. The intention of FRS is to grow businesses, because we know the more you grow, the more your businesses grow, the more revenue you get, of course, the more taxes we collect from you.
Against this background, what is expected of the entrepreneurs?
One, we expect that every company that is established by any law in Nigeria is supposed to register with FRS. That is the first thing to do. The first day you begin to think of establishing a company, the second thing you must think of is registering with FRS. Come to any of our offices, not necessarily where you even want to do your business or where you want your file to be. If you like, register a company in Abuja, you want to do business in Lagos. So any of our offices is capable of registering your company, transferring it to wherever you want your businesses to continue. That is one. Then the second thing you must do, because it's in the law, is you must obtain tax identification number, which we call TIN. At the point of registration, of course, you'll be given that tax identification number. What we have done over the years is that we have collaborated with Corporate Affairs Commission. As they are incorporating you, they are creating tax identification number for you, and they are sending your information direct to our system. And the moment we open our system, we will see that Company ABC Nigeria Limited has been incorporated today, and this is the TIN number allocated to it. These are the addresses, these are the details. That's why most times, even when you don't come to our offices, you discover that we begin to call you on phone. That, okay, you have registered company, you have incorporated your company, you have not come to complete your registration process. That is how we manage to get information about you. Then the other thing you must do is that you must file your returns as at when due. Returns are the affairs of your companies, what you have done over a certain period of time, depending on what kind of taxes. Like I say, if it's value-added tax, of course, it's on a monthly basis. So whatever you have done for that month, come and file your returns with FRS. And it does not matter whether you are not going to pay anything, because the law does not force you to pay. Where there's no payment, there's no payment. If unfortunately you did not do anything for that month for whatever reason, come and tell us. And the only way you can tell us is through that returns. That, look, for this month I have not done anything, so my tax payable is zero. We'll accept it, pending when we are able to get any further information that says contrary to what you are telling us. Then you are also supposed to keep adequate record for whatever business you are doing, your activities, because there are times that we will require you to give us some information when we are checking your records, and there are times that we will come for audit, there are times we will come for investigation, there are even times we will come for criminal investigation if we had cause to do that. You are not supposed to withhold any information from FRS. So we expect you to at all times give us full and correct information that may be required from any of our offices.
As was succinctly put by Alhaji Sadiq, entrepreneurs such as the ones at the Computer Village, and indeed everywhere, are subject to federal taxes, state taxes, and local government levies and charges. We thank Alhaji Sadiq. Did you know that you can get answers to all your questions and clarification on all matters regarding taxes collectible by the FRS by getting in touch through the contact center? The telephone numbers are on your screen, and of course, social media handles. Dr. Folashade Kokar, Director, Informal Sector and Special Duties at the LRS, was on hand to bring participants up to speed with regard to their obligations to the Lagos state government and by extension all state governments, depending on where a business is domiciled. Dr. Coker came along with her colleagues from the LRS who were on hand to hand out flyers and engage the entrepreneurs in conversations with a view to resolving knotty issues. Dr. Coker's presentation will come to you in the very next episode of the program because you need a holistic view of what is required of you with regard to tax obligations. Along with Dr. Coker's presentation will be the highly stimulating question and answer session. Thank you for joining us on this ride into the world of information and education on taxation. See you next week.